Name's Leon Kennedy. Nice to meet you.
Hungover and late for his first day on the job, or heroic cop who can't stay away from Raccoon City during its time of need. Sassy pro-tag who always has a quip at the ready, or troubled pro-tag trying to redeem himself after a perceived failure in an impossible situation. Which Leon do you prefer? Every time a game is remade, changes in story or character are inevitable. Details are altered, or plot lines are rewritten altogether. As a kid, I used to hate Leon Kennedy. But since RE2R's release in 2019, his character has undergone significant changes that make my childhood feelings for him outdated. Leon isn't the obnoxious rookie I met in the original Resident Evil 2. He's been remade into a character who's far more cool and heroic. Today, we're going over some of the key differences in character choices and backstory between Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 2 Remake and Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 4 Remake. Heads up, this video will have spoilers for Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 4. Welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Luffy and welcome to my channel. I talk video games and character analysis, so if that's your thing, subscribe and stick around. If you like what I do here, consider supporting me on Patreon or becoming a channel member so that I can continue to bring these videos to you weekly. If you'd like to see me cover something specific, let me know in the comments. Let's hop right into different Leons we're presented with in Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 4 and see how he's changed in the remakes. From Zero to Hero, Resident Evil 2.
You're a cop, right?
Yeah, first day on the job. Great, huh? Name's Leon Kennedy. Nice to meet you.
First things first, Leon's backstory. In the original, Leon's late to his first day of being a cop because his girlfriend dumped him the night before. Devastated by the breakup, Leon drank himself into a stupor and slept in the next day, which I guess is a good thing, as otherwise he would have probably wound up as zombie food. By being late, he missed the initial zombie outbreak in Raccoon City and the chaos Chief Irons sowed by hiding all of the ammunition in the police station and then hunting down survivor cops one by one. In the remake, Leon's soon-to-be cop buddies warn him to stay away. They didn't want him to get caught up in the madness they were trapped in. Leon can't stay away though, he's too noble, or so the remake would have you believe, and he goes against their warning and travels to Raccoon City to see how he can help out. What happened to Loser Leon? Loser Leon has way more character than his heroic rewrite of him, in my opinion. Ben also has a personality makeover to make him more palatable. In both versions of Resident Evil 2, Ben is locked in a cell beneath the police station. In the remake, Chief Irons locked him up to prevent Ben from whistleblowing on him and Umbrella. Ben had insider knowledge about the bioweapons Umbrella was creating, and how Umbrella was bribing Chief Irons to cover up their nasty work. In the original, Ben has locked himself up, clearly making use of the cells as a way to protect himself from the zombie outbreak. Leon wants to save Ben and tries to convince him to open the cell door and escape with him, but Ben refuses. He knows what's lurking out there. He takes a jab at Leon, asking him,
"Do you even know how to get out of the city?"
Hilariously, Leon doesn't. It's his first day on the job after all, so why would he know the secret passageways in the police station? Though Ben steers him in the right direction and directs him to a manhole cover in the kennels that leads to the sewers. That doesn't mean Ben's going with him though. Not until the way out is confirmed to be clear. In the remake, Ben doesn't get that far. He has a key card that will open the parking garage gate and get them out of the police station. He desperately tries to convince Leon to let him out of his cell, but Leon's much more of a cop in the remake. He refuses to let him out, despite the dire situation of the zombie outbreak. What if you escaped and no one could get to Ben to free him, Leon? Should he slowly starve to death abandoned in a cell because Chief Irons locked him up? Leon tells Ben,
"I'm sure he had a good reason."
The only reason I don't blame Leon for Ben's death is because he didn't have a way to turn the power on to open the cell. But I 100% believe that even if he was able to open Ben's cell, he wouldn't have, and would have watched Ben die all the same. When it comes to Ben, Leon's way lamer in the remake than in the original. Side note away from Leon, because I cannot pass up a chance to talk about William and Annette Birkin. Annette gives William a much bigger out in the original Resident Evil 2. She finds him shortly after the Umbrella security service has shot William up and taken the G-Virus. Annette tells William she's going to take care of the bullet wounds and rushes off to grab a first aid kit, I assume, but William doesn't give her a chance to try and heal him, and injects himself with the G-Virus. In the remake, Annette finds William after he's already injected himself. Annette not having the chance to offer William an alternative solution makes it seem much more like his only choice was to infect himself with the G-Virus or die. It makes William seem desperate instead of evil, which is an interesting choice for his character. I doubt Annette could treat bullet wounds, but regardless, her offer makes William infecting himself more of a choice. Towards the end of Resident Evil 2, Annette reveals Ada's a spy working to get her hands on a sample of the G virus. In the original, her cover story is that she's looking for her boyfriend, Umbrella scientist John. In the remake, she tells Leon she's with the FBI and is investigating Umbrella. Leon buys her story in both versions, but when Annette reveals Ada's true intentions, he reacts in very different ways. In the original, Leon refuses to believe Annette. The Ada he knows, that he's known for all of 2 seconds, would never use him like that. It isn't until Ada shows her hand that Leon understands that she really is there to steal the G virus. In the remake, Leon wisens up and questions Ada's true intentions the second he sees her next.
Because I realized, as much as I wanted to trust you, I didn't.
Why did the devs decide to strip Leon of his naivety? Was it to up the tension in the scene as Leon actively confronts Ada? Or to make him seem less like a loser hanging on to Ada's every word? The Leon we first met was a heartbroken loser who's hungover throughout the events of Resident Evil 2. But the remake rewrote him to be a hero who just couldn't stay away from the job. Despite everyone's warning, he had to come to Raccoon City to help. That's just how much of a hero he is. How boring. Bring back loser Leon. Heroes are boring. From Sass to Serious, Resident Evil 4.
No way, Leon.
Way?
Are you out of your mind?
I knew you'd be fine if you landed on your butt.
What's the first thing you think of when you think of Resident Evil 4? Is it one of Leon's iconic lines like,
No thanks, bro.
or do you think about the darker, more serious atmosphere of the remake?
Oh, what's the car? Wouldn't want to get a parking ticket.
So much for helping me.
Look at how dark this scene is compared to the original. The original Resident Evil 4 is known for its campy one-liners delivered hilariously by Leon. Leon doesn't take anything too seriously and has an ear out for any opportunity to deliver a snippy retort. One of the most telling back and forths in the OG RE4 is between Ramon and Leon.
Oh, what a touching moment we have here.
All spoiled thanks to your interruption. Why don't you do us all a favor and leave before the audience gets pissed off?
Leon really does behave like he's constantly performing for an audience. Though hilariously, despite this subtle fourth wall break, he's unaware of the audience he truly has. This means Leon's sometimes performing for an audience of one, namely himself.
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
Leon, who are you talking to? You're the only one around. Leon is either performing for himself or for the audience he's made up in his head, and both are equally hilarious. In the remake, Leon's much less silly and much more serious. When Louise asks him for a smoke, Leon responds in the remake,
You got a smoke? You know, those things will kill you.
You know what else will kill you in this village? Literally everything. The Las Plagas, the El Gigante, Krauser. Literally everything is out to get you. Don't lecture Luis about the dangers of cigarettes. In the original, the exchange goes like this.
You got a smoke?
Got gum.
Which is such a hilarious and sweet offer on Leon's part. Leon doesn't smoke, but he doesn't want to leave Luis hanging and offers him some gum. Though Luis doesn't take him up on that. Despite my disappointment with RE4R turning Leon from a quippy, sassy protag into a protag that takes the situation seriously, RE4R adds a lot to the OG's lore. The Los Illuminados is explored in greater detail in RE4R with memos defined that explain the cult's goals and backstory, which is a really fun addition. I love lore, so I ate up all the additional notes RE4R added. Resident Evil 4 is an action-packed thriller filled to the brim with sassy one-liners and fun digs at the villains. Resident Evil 4 Remake put a darker spin on things and put more of a focus on survival in this installment, in the survival horror genre. RE4R is grittier, and Leon is a grittier, more serious protagonist to match the new tone. Did you miss Leon's one-liners when you played through the remake? Or did you like this new spin on Leon? Let me know in the comments. Your thoughts. I don't see Leon's OG backstory versus the rewrite of the remake get talked about a lot online, so I was really curious to know what y'all thought about it and which backstory of Leon's you preferred. We took a poll here on YouTube and the majority of y'all voted you preferred Leon's OG backstory, which really warmed my heart. I also really prefer his OG backstory. It's so human and endearing. Mr. Trepstone commented, "Yeah, I like that part of OG Leon's character. Namely the alcohol abuse. We all love a tortured soul, and it's clear that both Leons are hurting inside, struggling with their versions of what the perfect cop should look like, and I don't think either of them feel they live up to that. Leon is very hard on himself, and the depiction of alcohol abuse, which comes up later in his life too, is further indicative of this. He uses it to cope with, no, suppress, big emotions. Leon absolutely uses alcohol to suppress big emotions, like Mr. Trevstone said. One of my favorite parts of Leon's character arc is in Vendetta, when Chris finds him drinking his troubles away. When Chris tries to take Leon's alcohol away, he pulls out a flask and it sends me every time. Part of me wishes Chris would have taken that flask away and then Leon pulled out another even tinier flask. In Death Island, which comes after Vendetta, Leon has had a mood shift and seems much more positive and isn't caught drinking himself into a stupor. I believe it was Leon's voice actor, Matthew Mercer, who explained that because Leon was able to save so many people in Vendetta, it taught him that he really can make a difference in the world and can save people and his friends, which is why Leon is so much more upbeat in Death Island compared to Vendetta. I love that for Leon so much. I hope in the movies going forward, and the games, that we get to see more of upbeat, positive Leon. Darth Vader Reviews 6926 commented, "I actually think the new version works much better as a cohesive whole. The plan clearly wasn't to make Leon a straightforward hero, but actually to retcon him into being depressed at the start of RE4, making RE2 being the reason for that. In the original timeline, you can very much argue he has become a straightforward hero in 4. I think it was better for that arc to unfold during 4, for reasons we actually got to see, than have the entire thing essentially told rather than shown to us in the original 2. Darth shares a really interesting perspective. I can see how the retcon could strengthen Leon's struggles later on in the series, though personally, I believe the OG backstory illustrates that Leon already had an unhealthy relationship to alcohol before becoming a full-blown alcoholic later on in the series. His OG backstory serves as foreshadowing. Sheriff 956 commented, "Well, to be honest, his remake backstory would have been a bit better if he decided to not follow orders right after the call. Because from what I understand is that he got the call, waited for a whole week, then decided to just head on to Raccoon City. Like, why wait a whole week? And in the OG, Chief Irons cut off all communication lines to the outside, yet someone, probably Marvin, managed to call Leon and tell him to stay away? Like, how come? But what really irks me is Claire, after seeing an officer bleeding in the gas station, the bald one, not the sheriff, didn't do a quick turn to call someone on the payphone she literally just used. Like, huh? Sheriff makes so many really great points. I'd never questioned how one of the officers was able to warn Leon away when communication with the outside world was being blocked. And also, why didn't Claire use the payphone outside to call someone? I guess she met up with a cop shortly after and then decided to drive to the police station together, and there were a lot of zombies outside the gas station, so I guess making a quick phone call wasn't much of an option. But I don't know why she didn't think to call someone the second she saw the state of the gas station. Or why Leon didn't try to call it in when you play as him for Scenario A. What did you think about Leon's backstory? Do you prefer the OG where he's hungover, or the remakes where he just couldn't stay away from Raccoon City because he's just that much of a cop? Let me know in the comments. Remakes and remasters are so fascinating to me because with each new iteration of a game, we lose little details or details change. For Resident Evil 2, this meant Leon got a heroic makeover. For Resident Evil 4, this meant Leon lost his quippy dialogue and got a lot more serious. I don't think one is better than the other in the grand scheme of things, though I do think it's important to remember the details of the original to honor it. Without the OG, we never would have gotten the remake, after all. Thank you so much for making it to the end of today's video. If you liked it, share it with someone who wants to know more about Resident Evil lore. If you need more content, check out my Patreon. I upload articles I write on upcoming videos or just thought pieces on video games in general. You can also support me in the channel by becoming a channel member, or join us in Discord. I need more people to talk Resident Evil with. More importantly than that though, please take care of yourself and I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you.